Good evening, everybody. It's a little dark in here. That's all right, though. Want to welcome you in, HamShackTV. Let me get into the camera here to where you can see me a little bit. So good evening, welcome in. Let me turn on some light here. There. Now you can see me. So anyway, good evening. Well, welcome in. You're on HamShackTV right here on YouTube. So some of you may or may not already know, but I am a newscaster for This Week in Amateur Radio. This Week in Amateur Radio, which is a podcast that's extremely popular. You can get it anywhere that you get your podcast, and that bug is still in my way. I have audio coming from my phone for some reason. Sorry about that. So yeah, it's a podcast that's available anywhere you download your podcast. That's Apple, that's Spreaker, that's so many different options for you to get your podcast. Let me make sure I'm still online here. Yeah, it looks like I'm still online. I don't know why I'm getting an error, but wanted to do something different. I may do this every week because I record the podcast, or at least my portions of the podcast, on Friday nights. So I figured, you know what? Let's read the news. We'll make it amateur radio's first live newscast. How about that? We'll do that. So I'm just pulling up my script here, and I've already read it for the podcast. So I normally have three assignments when it comes to my news stories that I read. So we'll read the first one. The story is titled ARRL Club Grants Will Be Awarded in November. Applications for the 2024 ARRL Club Grants program are now being reviewed. The application period closed on July 26, 2024. ARRL Field Services Manager Mike Walters, W8ZY, said 110 grant applications have been received and the awards will be announced in late November. Grants are available up to $25,000 and emphasis is given to projects that are transformative in nature, said Walters. Examples of projects include, but are not limited to, getting on the air projects, ham training and skill development through mentoring, STEM and STEAM through learning through amateur radio, station resources for use by the ham community, and emergency communications and public service projects emphasizing training. Since 2022, $500,000 has been distributed to amateur radio clubs, said Walters. With this year's awards, the total will increase to $1 million. The ARRL Club Grants are administered by the ARRL Foundation. So, fantastic news there. See, we've got 3 viewers. Good evening. Drop a line in the chat. Let me know where you're watching us from here. Again, you've tuned into HamShackTV right here on YouTube. Give me just a moment. I'm going to share the link on Facebook. That way we can draw in some of our Facebook audience that may or may not be subscribed. It's a good reminder. You know what? If you're not already subscribed to the channel, go ahead and do it. Right down below me talking, you'll see a subscribe button. Go ahead and click on that. Click on the notification bell. That will, for one, that will help the channel tremendously. For two, it'll keep you up to date on whenever I'm going live. So we're just posting this on Facebook here. All right. And post. Perfect. Also want to let you know tonight's newscast is brought to you by Ham Radio Prep. If you haven't already got your ham radio license, Ham Radio Prep is a fantastic resource to get your ham radio license. Go to hamradioprep.com, and at the checkout portion of the website, you will find a coupon code. If you enter HamShackTV into that coupon code box, you'll get an additional 10% off your amateur radio license course. Again, that's hamradioprep.com, and at checkout, use coupon code HamShackTV for an extra 10% off. This isn't just for technician candidates, guys. They've got great courses in the general class and also the extra class. As a matter of fact, they've got a great deal on the trifecta bundle. It's got the tech class, it's got the general class, and the extra class courses. So go ahead, go ahead and get signed up. HamRadioPrep.com. Use coupon code HamShackTV for extra 10% off. So we're getting some chats coming in. Good evening, Joe. WB9 VVH from Rockford, Tennessee, right up the road. Joe's a great guy. Actually tested Joe for his general, I believe it was. So Joe is great. He's a good member of the Smoky Mountain Amateur Radio Club as well. So Joe, thank you for being here and welcome in. All right, we'll go on to another news story. Let's see what else we've got here. Let's see here. We'll go on to story 13. And this is an interesting one. I think we all like to work the Route 66 event. Every year, if you have HF, Route 66 is on the air making contact, celebrating the Mother Road. And that's United States Highway 66, which runs from Santa Monica, California to Chicago, Illinois. I have actually been on both ends of Route 66. I've been to the Chicago end, and I have been to the Santa Monica Pier, which is where the western part of it ends. So, never been anywhere else on it, though. I have some YouTubers that I like to watch, Jacob the Carpetbagger, Adam the Woo. Both of them have done an entire Route 66 trip, and I'd love to do that sometime. That would be cool, to be able to do Route 66 on the air, live, and stream it / vlog it. I think that would be a lot of fun. So, maybe one day. Let's see if we can get this channel blown up enough to where we can afford to do that. So anyway, the 25th anniversary of Route 66 on the air will have a new twist. A California Rover W6V, manned by Annie Lewis, N6ACL, and John Litz, NZ6Q, will be driving the route from Santa Monica, California to Chicago, Illinois, activating historic sites, points of interest, and blogging the adventure. They will operate single sideband FT8 and CW from stop to stop. Multi-op signal, I can get it out, I promise. Multi-op single transmitter, and both will be on the air when they're stopping for the evening. The idea of doing a start-to-finish Route 66 Rover from one end to the other was started several years ago with the help of their friend Dan Reed, KB6 UNC, who is now a silent key. The event will run from 0001Z September 7th to 2359Z on September 15th, and is sponsored by the Citrus Belt Amateur Radio Club and the Barstow Amateur Radio Club. It celebrates the Mother Road, U.S. Highway 66, which was established in 1926 and was the first major roadway improvement to link the West Coast with the nation's heartland. There will be 23 one-by-one special event stations along the route from Santa Monica to Chicago. And I have no idea why my Roomba thinks it's okay to run at 9:14 at night. So sorry about that. There will be 23 one-by-one special event stations along the route from Santa Monica to Chicago. In 2023, there were 77 such stations, making a total of 623 contacts during the 9-day event. You can email route66ota@yahoo.com with questions or for additional information. So that's a fun one to work. Let's see here. Route 66 is, hello, Colin and VK. Appreciate you being here. Thanks for coming in. VK. That is Australia, I think. Let me know in the comments if I'm right or not. Have to think about that. But thanks for being here, Colin. Appreciate you. Anybody else that's joining us here live on the HamShackTV live stream with the newscast? Welcome. Appreciate you being here. I'm glad that you're here, and I appreciate everybody subscribing. It's been a heck of a day, a heck of a month. I don't know if I know any YouTube channel that has started from scratch and built a following of 750 subscribers in a month. This is phenomenal, and I think a lot of that is thanks to Huntsville. The Huntsville Hamfest was just a great event. So let's see here. Colin says correct. He is VK5COL. Well, Colin, appreciate you being here. I'll be honest with you, I don't cover a whole lot of stuff outside of the United States, but I'm glad you're here. One day, sometimes I live stream while I'm operating single sideband, so maybe one day we can have a QSO right here on the show. So appreciate you being here. Folks, go ahead, and if you haven't already, hit the like button down below and hit subscribe as well as the notification bell. Certainly helps the channel and growth. Also, if you've got an amateur radio Facebook page that you're part of, please go ahead and share the link with your friends. Let's get them in here. I want to get to 1,000 subscribers in the very near future. As a matter of fact, I'm going to make a mission. We're going to make a mission right here on this channel tonight. So, some of you already know this, but my wife is expecting twins. We're going to have twin boys, so one day they'll be hams. But those twins are supposed to arrive on October 14th. That's when we're scheduled for the C-section anyway. So here's my challenge. If we can get to 1,000 subscribers by the time they get here, I will be thrilled. Absolutely thrilled. So share out the link, share out Facebook, share out wherever you've got to. Let's get to 1,000 subscribers sooner or later. I'll tell you this too. When we get to 1,000 subscribers, I will be doing some sort of a giveaway. Don't know what that looks like yet, but I will be doing some sort of a giveaway. So stay tuned for those details. That's certainly a way to entice folks to subscribe to the channel. So let's see here. What else do we got to read? More news. By the way, if you want to help the channel, you can see down in the link or down in the description, there's several links there. Every single one of those links is something that helps this channel one way or another, whether it's monetarily or following-wise. We do have a Discord, and that Discord is starting to become active, so join us on the Discord. You can click that link in the description below, and that'll take you into the Discord. We have all kinds of good conversations and stuff in there. Also, you can join the Patreon. We have a few tiers of memberships in the Patreon. If you do that, one of the perks will be that you will be shouted out in every single video that we do. So definitely join us there. Also, you see links for Amazon and Better Safe Radios and Alpha Antenna and Heil Ham Radio. All kinds of fantastic companies there. By the way, I did a video yesterday, I believe it was, about Better Safe Radios. They've got such a great deal coming. And that deal is going to be live for one day only. And that will be Labor Day, Monday. So make sure that you go back in the playlist on my channel and look at yesterday's video. I think you'll be pretty pleased with what you find. Let's see. Okay, how about story 16? The Amateur Radio Emergency Service, or ARES, which began in 1935, is being brought into alignment with many of the agencies it serves by adopting the National Incident Management System's Incident Command System. This is an initiative of the ARRL to update the training of ARES members to better meet the needs of its partners. A statement by the ARRL reads in part, "This is a first step towards our long-term goal by our long-term goal of being recognized by our served partner agencies as the gold standard of volunteer communication support based upon ARES members' unique expertise and capabilities. The training has several levels of specialization areas to provide amateurs with a consistent track to advance their skills as well as their understanding of emergency communications practices. The incident command system is used throughout the government and non-government organizations and the private sector to manage efficient deployment of assistance and cooperation at incidents such as severe weather and natural disasters. Any of you ARES members, if you're an ARES member, let me know that. Let me know down in the chat, and we'll hear about that. I used to be an ARES member a long time ago, and then I moved away from my hometown. I'm not far away. I'm just another county away, but yeah, let me know if you're an ARES member. It's kind of cool to know. Is it still alive? Looking at the chat, checking in with who we got here. Evan and Chelsea. That is Big Evan Jones. What's up, buddy? Thanks for being here. I understand you got a birthday coming up. Happy birthday, early. I think it's next month. I'll have to look back at my text, but yeah. Happy birthday, early. Got David in here, KE4HPQ. David, good to see you. Anybody else in the chat, feel free to drop a line in the chat and say hello. Let me know where you're from. If you're a ham, go ahead and put your call sign in there. We'll give you a shout out. Evan says October 13th. That's coming up. October 13th. Is that Talladega? Or in the neighborhood of Talladega? I don't remember. For those of you that don't know, I'm a big NASCAR fan, and I met Evan a few years back. He had a YouTube channel called NASCAR Tube, and we connected through that and been buddies ever since. Never met face to face, but I'd like to change that sometime. He lives over towards Nashville, and those of you that don't know, I live in East Tennessee, kind of near Knoxville. Evan's turning the big 3-0. Boy, I wish I could turn the big 3-0 again. I tell you, I'll be 36 next month, September 11th, actually. And don't get me started about September 11th. I hear it all the time. I hear it all the time. So, anyway, happy early birthday. Hope it's a big one, and enjoy it. And enjoy the 30th. You only get one of them, and they only go by faster and faster and faster. So, all right. Well, let's see what else we got. I do want to remind you that tonight's video is sponsored by Ham Radio Prep. If you've been thinking about getting your ham radio license, or if you're already licensed, Ham Radio Prep is the way to go to the next level. They offer technician courses starting at $35. And if you use my coupon code HamShackTV, you'll get an additional 10% off. So you really, really can't beat it. You get a technician or the technician course for $35, and then they also have bundle deals. You can get technician and general. You can get technician, general, and extra. I tell you what, you might as well. It's the cheapest way to go. Go ahead and get the technician, general, and extra. That's the way to go. It's the best bang for your buck. You'll already have them, and guess what? You never lose them. You'll always have access to those courses. So go to see my friends, hamradioprep.com, and use the coupon code HamShackTV for an extra 10% off. All right, let's see what else we got in the news stories. How about story 17? As the summer wraps up in the Northern Hemisphere, so too does the Youngsters on the Air camp that took place in the Czech Republic. Campers finished their week of immersion in amateur radio and friendships at the Youngster on the Air camp on Friday, August 23rd. Now, all that's left to remember the experience and to share it. Rise Williams, M0WGY/AJ6XD, who represented the Radio Society of Great Britain at the camp, wrote a daily blog that recounts such daily activities as kit building, balloon launching, and operation of special call sign OL24YOTA. If you weren't one of the campers, you can read the blog and experience the memorable week vicariously in words and pictures. The camp was organized by the Czech Radio Club and the Youth Working Group of IARU Region 1. So, very short story there, but there you go. Let's see here. Evan says Talladega is the week before. His birthday is at Charlotte Roval. Well, you got two opportunities there to celebrate your birthday. You can go to Talladega, which would be my choice. No question about it. Talladega all the way. Or you could go to the Roval. Both, Talladega's a little closer to you anyway. But, Roval's what, 7 hours away for you? It's up to you. See if you can pull one of them off. That'd be a good birthday gift. Don't know if you've been to Talladega before. Colin in VK Land says, you have it very easy in the U.S. They don't publish exam questions in Australia. You have to actually learn everything as you don't know what the questions will be. That's scary. That's very scary. I will tell you this, and as a VE, for those of you that are not hams, you've probably heard, you've wondered how to take your exam, and there's groups called volunteer examiners. I'm one of them. I'm actually a volunteer examiner, session team leader, whatever they call it. I have credentials with W5YI, the ARRL, West Cars, Anchorage, and Greater Los Angeles. Where was I going with that? But anyway, I know where I was going with that. A lot of people, they study by using the question pool and memorizing the questions and answers. That's fine. If that works for you, great. But I think you need to know a little bit of the context of all the questions too. It never hurts to reinforce some of that stuff in your brain. It's better for retention. You got a better chance of passing the test. I know me as an extra class, it was a pain in the butt. So a little background on me. I got my technician license back in January of 2010. And then 5 months later, I got my general license in May of 2010. Then I never wanted my extra. I didn't care anything about HF. I didn't care anything about testing. I just wanted the general so that I could participate in field day, so on and so forth. But then I acquired an FT991 and started having fun with it, but I kept getting in trouble. I wouldn't pay attention to my band plan, and I'd cross over into the extra class portion. So I said, you know what? It'd be a lot easier for me to just go ahead and get my extra class than to get a notice from the FCC. And let me tell you something, folks. Those FCC notices, they sting. And sometimes they come with bills, meaning thousands of dollars in fines. So if you're watching this and you don't have your license, don't get on the radio unless you do. You'll get smacked. I like to tell my daughter whenever we're out driving around and we see a policeman that's got somebody pulled over, I'll tell them, or I'll just say, somebody's getting a spanking. So, you don't want to get a spanking in the mail from the FCC. Don't do it. Use Ham Radio Prep. Go get your Ham Radio Prep. Use coupon code HamShackTV for 10% off. Just do it the right way. How about that? All right. Evan says, not in his budget. I'm assuming that means Talladega and the Charlotte Roval. All right. Well, I hear that. It's not, no races are in my budget right now. I would love to do Bowman Gray. They're running the NASCAR Clash at Bowman Gray next year. It's already sold out and probably not in my budget either. Colin in VK Land says, Great thing here, we no longer have to pay for a ham license. It used to be Australian $50 per year. Wow, $50 a year? Holy crap. You must have to be rich to be a ham radio person over there, because not only are you paying for your license every year, but you're also buying equipment and club dues or whatever you might have in Australia. Man, that's crazy. But starting this year, it's now free. Okay, good. Here in the United States, it is, what is it? $35 every 10 years. So, all right, I can eat $35 every 10 years. If you also have a GMRS license, it's $35 every 10 years as well. So, I recently got my GMRS license. I like it, kinda, but no sooner than I get in it, there's a ton of drama with this whole GMRS linking thing. Not quite sure what where I stand on all that. I've seen both points of view. I know here locally, the North Georgia GMRS Association, which I happen to be a member of, they don't believe that they're in violation with all their linked stuff. There are others that I have seen that do believe they are, and they have ceased those operations. So we'll have to see how the cookie crumbles on this. I'd like to do a video about it one day, but I want to form an opinion before I do that video. Evan says, just got back from Indy yesterday. That's awesome. I did see the pictures. Oh, yeah, you sent me the pictures. I forgot about that. Also went to Michigan International Speedway and the abandoned Kentucky Speedway. What a shame. I got to be honest with you. I really didn't care for Kentucky's racing, but the track was cool. They did some cool things to it. It was always a night race. Well, most always a night race unless it got rained out. But the green walls at night with the lights, it just made it pop. It was such a cool place. So let's go back to another news story. Let's see here. Okay. This past winter, Amateur Radio Digital Communications announced that Pat Nelson, KE0QXD, had recently joined their conduct review committee. Familiar with her tireless spirit, they were looking forward to working with her. That partnership never happened. Pat died suddenly a few days later on January 29th. The contributions she could have made would have been the latest in amateur radio tenure, marked by creativity and a capacity for giving and volunteering. In Minneapolis and St. Paul, Pat had a long association with KFAI Radio, a community broadcast station, as a host and a volunteer. A certified specialist in IT, she also assisted with programming and ran a company, Nelson Works LLC, which provided computer training and support. When she joined the station, she became friends with Mike Stapp, KE0WW, a longtime ham who introduced her to amateur radio. For Pat, that marked yet another beginning. She became licensed in 2018, and her commitment grew over the years. In 2022, she produced and hosted a special program on KFAI in honor of International Women's Day, focusing on women active in amateur radio. Pat also became a volunteer examiner at the Aurora Amateur Radio Group and served on its VE Advisory Committee. She was a lifetime member of OMIC, Amateur Radio Association, an international group founded in 1952 by black amateur radio operators, and she had previously served the association as secretary. In January 2023, Pat became the first guest speaker at the National Radio Astronomy Observatory's Ham Radio Project in Virginia, led by Jesse Alexander, WB2 IFS, supported by the ARDC, The project familiarizes students with amateur radio and electromagnetic spectrum. Pat was 68. So we're losing some pretty good hams. And that's why we need to bring the hobby back. We need to get younger people licensed to carry the hobby on. Jason, KC5HWB from Ham Radio 2.0, you may have saw my interview with him on the channel earlier this month at the Huntsville Ham Fest. He said there's so many opportunities in ham radio, whether it's emergency preparedness or just learning tech, things like that. Jason him and I both have a passion for growing the hobby, and we need to grow it. We need to reach the younger crowd and get them in here and get them on the air. And the way to get on the air, again, Ham Radio Prep, hamradioprep.com. Use coupon code HamShackTV for 10% off on the technician, general, and extra class license courses. And you don't have to get all three of them. You can get just one or two or all three of them. But the more courses you go ahead and buy, the better the rate will be. And again, there's a special sale on there right now. And on top of that, this is in addition. If you use coupon code HamShackTV, you'll get an additional 10% off on top of their great special right now. Again, that's Ham Radio Prep. Colin in VK Land says our 80-channel UHF-CB, which is 476 and 477 megahertz, is free. No license required. Okay. Interesting. We have CB here in the United States. It's on 11 meters. So definitely different frequencies. 11 meters is 27 megahertz up to a small portion of 28, I believe it is. So you don't have to have a license for CB. However, you should, you do have restrictions on power and stuff. Here in the United States too, another version of CB is FRS. FRS, I'm not sure the frequency range is off the top of my head, but you do not have to have a license whatsoever. But of course, you have frequency allotments. It's very channelized. And you also have power restrictions. And the next step from there would be GMRS, General Mobile Radio Systems. You do have to have a license for that, but there's no exam required. So you just have to pay your $35 ransom to the FCC, and they'll take care of you. Colin says, we also have the same 27 megahertz as us. But most people use UHF-CB. That's interesting. That's very interesting. I know that GMRS is a lot more popular than CB here, 11 meters. CB kind of died out a few years ago. It's still being used by some truckers and stuff, but frankly, a lot of truckers are either in GMRS or they're in ham nowadays. Some of them are out there using mobile apps like Zello or something like that. So anyway, have 7 live viewers right now. Welcome into everybody. Thanks for joining me here on HamShackTV. I'm your host, Josh, AA4WX, right here in East Tennessee. Appreciate you tuning in. If you're not already a subscriber, down below me, you'll see a subscribe button. Go ahead and hit that button and hit the notification bell next to it. Both of those dramatically help the channel. The more of those we get, the more YouTube will grow or use the algorithm and get it out there for more people to join us. Also, hit the like button. That helps the algorithm too. We want to grow this channel. Like I said, we hit 750 subscribers tonight. So I'm very, very proud of that. 750 subscribers is nothing to sneeze at. I'm putting in a lot of work into this. But I certainly appreciate all of you that have subscribed and joined the channel. If you want to show your appreciation, also down in the description of this video, you'll find all kinds of links that do help the channel, whether it's something free like joining the Discord or liking on Facebook or following on Facebook. There are ways to financially help the channel. We've got the Patreon. which you can go to patreon.com/HamShackTV and become a channel member. If you do become a channel member on Patreon, you will get a shout out in every video I do. So that's the first perk I've got. I'm still working on the other perks for all the levels, but it doesn't matter what level you join, you'll get a shout out. So we'll take care of that. Also, you'll see Amazon. If you click on my Amazon link, anything you buy from Amazon from there on, that will go towards to help the channel. I get a little cut off of that. Alpha Antenna, Better Safe Radio, Heil Ham Radio, great companies. I work with all of them. You'll see the links down below. Evan says he got his training from Smoking the Bandit. Is that on driving or is that on CB? That could be either or. All right, let's go back to the news, see what else we can find here. Let's see here. Oh, this is interesting. A memorandum of understanding between the FCC and the Privacy Commissioner of Canada. Federal Communications Commission Chairwoman Jessica Rosenworcel signed a memorandum of understanding with Privacy Commissioner of Canada Philippe Dufresne to strengthen information sharing and enforcement cooperations between the two regulators. The agreement establishes the parameters for the two regulators to exchange information in order to enforce compliance with laws in both countries and to share knowledge and expertise on regulatory policies and technical efforts related to applicable laws. The Federal Communications Commission is responsible for implementing and enforcing America's communication law and regulations. The Privacy Commissioner of Canada oversees compliance with Canada's two federal privacy laws that set out rules for how federal government institutions and certain businesses handle personal information. Interesting. The two groups are not related. I don't quite understand that. There's a lot left to be desired in that story. I don't write this stuff. It is provided to me by our great producer at This Week in Amateur Radio, George Bowen. Lord, I forgot his call sign. What is wrong with me? Sorry, George, if you're watching. George is W2XBS, Whiskey 2 X-Ray Bravo Sierra. So if you like the content of This Week in Amateur Radio, go check it out. You can subscribe for free, thisweekinamateurradio.com. You can also find the podcast on Apple Podcast, Spotify, just wherever you get your podcast. It's a great podcast, a great listen. Join in. Let's see what else we've got here. How about some space? Anybody like space? Y'all like space? Let me know. Let me know in the chat if you like space stories. Evan says, I say on CB, but my wife will say probably my driving. Yep. I'll leave that one there. Oh, boy. By the way, let me just give a shout out for those of you watching. Down in the chat, you see Evan and Chelsea. Evan's got a great YouTube channel. He set up another one after his NASCAR tube days. I believe it's a separate account. But if you have any inkling or liking of NASCAR, there's a couple of great videos on there. Him and Chelsea took a trip to Charlotte, North Carolina, and did a bunch of tours over there of different race shops and things like that. It's covered great. Camera works great. Editing's great. And then they wrap it up with a little getaway in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. So go check that out on the Evan and Chelsea channel. Just click on his profile down in the chat. But don't leave right now. We got more news. All right. Let's hit this space story. SpaceX excuse me. SpaceX launched 116 payloads aboard its Falcon 9 rocket as part of the Transporter 11 rideshare mission on August the 16th, 2024. The launch occurred at 11:56 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time from the Space Center, and I just disappeared. What is that all about? Hello, camera. I'm back. You can see me. I don't know why my camera's been doing that, but it's just been doing that. Let's see here. This mission is the latest of SpaceX rideshare launches, which provide small satellites from various countries as an opportunity to reach orbit without needing dedicated launch vehicles. Following stage separation, Falcon 9's final stage booster successfully returned to landing zone 4, marking its 12th flight and 20th landing at LZ-4. Transporter 11 carried a diverse range of payloads, including satellites from Japan, Chile, the United Kingdom, and Australia. There you go, Colin. Australia. Among the Australian payloads were 3 satellites launched by the Australian Space Agency. Oregon also had a key payload on the Transporter 11 with the launch of Ori Satellite 0.5, the state's second satellite. Developed by Portland State Aerospace Society at Portland State University, OriSat 0.5 is a 2U cube satellite designed to demonstrate 2 critical systems: the altitude determination and control system of the modular OriSat bus, and the Cirrus Flux camera, which uses shortwave infrared technology. Deployed into 510-kilometer sun-synchronous low Earth orbit, the satellite began transmitting its first data beacons just 16 minutes after deployment, marking a significant milestone for its Portland State Aerospace Society team. OriSat 0.5's mission includes testing an open-source ADCS designed for precise antenna and camera pointing on amateur radio satellites, and demonstrating the DX Wi-Fi S-band 802.11b bidirectional radio system for high-speed 1 megabit per second communication. Additionally, it aims to provide openly published flight data, including power and thermal characteristics, to support the development of cost-effective, scalable satellite systems. Telemetry data from OriSat 0.5 can be received on 436.500 megahertz and decoded using 9600 baud GMSK with DK3WN's GetKiss Plus version 1.4.2 software. The mission also marked a significant achievement for ExoLaunch, the satellite development company responsible for integrating 42 of the 116 satellites on the Transporter 11 mission. The launch was ExoLaunch's 30th successful integration, representing more than 24 companies. ExoLaunch CEO Robert Sporles expressed gratitude to their customers and SpaceX, emphasizing the importance of collaboration and innovation and success of these missions. Crazy stuff going on in space. Space has changed a whole lot since I was a kid. Again, I'll be 36 next month, and it's amazing the stuff that's going on in space. Used to, space was a dream, and it still is. Don't get me wrong. But if you've got enough money, you can go to space now. Look at Elon. Look at Amazon guy. What's his name? Jeff Bezos. William Shatner. William Shatner went to space on one of Jeff Bezos's rockets. It's crazy. It's Insane. It won't be long we'll be having vacations on the moon. I believe that'll happen in my lifetime. So we'll have to see. Let's see what else is going on here. Anybody else in the chat here? Nothing new in the chat. Still got just as many viewers. Good evening, everybody. If you are just tuning in, go to the chat and let me know who you are, your call sign if you're licensed, and where you're at. Appreciate you being here. Colin in VK says Wi-Fi was invented in Australia. I didn't know that. I didn't know that at all. Give me just a second, please. Go. All right, I'm back. There I am. All right. Had a technical issue there. Did not know that Wi-Fi was invented in Australia. That's kind of something cool. Thanks for that. I had to look into that. That's quite interesting. So what's going on? What's everybody's weekend plans? Let me know down in the chat. What do you got going on? I'll tell you what we got going on. Tomorrow we have a baby shower for the twins. So we're looking forward to that. Probably gonna need to take my truck to haul everything back. It's like double compared to what it was with our 2 girls that we already have. And then Sunday, the Tennessee QSO party. So I'll be live streaming some of that, probably do a couple of interviews, that kind of thing. Tennessee QSO party's fun. If you've never participated in the QSO party, it's like a miniature field day, but without all the crazy rules. So we did this last year with Skywarn. It was a great time, so we're doing it again. We'll be on probably 20 meters and 40 meters for the most part. You might find us on 10 or 15 or 80. Just depends on what the conditions are looking like. They're talking like maybe we'll get some rain. So that shouldn't affect us. We've got a big pavilion, but if we get lightning, that's a different story. Got to unhook. So that'll be going on from 1 o'clock to 11 o'clock Eastern time on Sunday. So if you've got HF capabilities, work us. If not, come see us. We'll put you on the air, let you hang out with us. We'll be at 2508 Middle Settlements Road in Maryville, Tennessee. So that'll be fun. Evan and Chelsea says, I'm resting after a long trip. Yeah, I'd say you have. How long have you been gone? You've been gone a little while. Okay. I might read one more story, and we might get ready to put this thing down. We've been on almost an hour. A lot of space stories here. Don't know if... let's talk about sunspots. Sunspots have been a little bit of a nightmare lately when it comes to HF. German astronomer Johannes Kepler made sketches of sunspots in 1607 from his observations of the sun's surface, and centuries later, the pioneering drawings are helping scientists solve a solar mystery. Astronomers observed sunspots with their telescopes for the first time in 1610, 3 years after Kepler's drawings and Kepler's long disregarded sketches. Overlooked because they were drawings rather than telescopic observations, could provide crucial historic insights. Kepler used a camera obscura, which utilized a small hole in the wall of the instrument to project the sun's image on a sheet of paper and sketched the features he observed. Kepler mistakenly believed he captured Mercury moving in orbit across the sun in May 1607, but later retracted his report 11 years later and determined he had in fact observed sunspot group. Now a research team has determined that the sunspot group observed by Kepler belonged to a tail end of a solar cycle minus 14. Okay, so some of you are familiar with sunspots, especially those of you that are in the ham community and do the HF. Sunspots affect us big time. Evan, you might be interested in knowing this. W9IMS, that is the Indianapolis Motor Speedway Amateur Radio Club. Every year they give out an award and make contacts during their 3 events: the Formula One event, the IndyCar event, and the NASCAR event. Well, this year, by the way, last year I worked all 3 of them. Got the checkered flag award, as they call it. This year, they had to pretty much cancel one of them. And that was because we experienced a radio blackout. Radio blackouts a lot of times are caused by solar flares and things like that. We experienced a radio blackout the week of... I said Formula One, but that's not right. I believe it's the road course event. The Grand Prix. The Indianapolis Grand Prix. That's what I'm thinking of. They had to cancel it during the Indianapolis Grand Prix because you just couldn't work anything. You might could work a few, but not many. But anyway, that's what sunspots can do, and that's why ham radio operators have a huge interest in sunspots. So there's that. LMSA. Oh, IMSA. Yeah, I've read that wrong. Maybe it was IMSA. Hang on. Get my handy dandy book down here. So this is a book that I keep all my QSL cards in. And I see that I smacked the mic. I am sorry, y'all. My QSL cards and my awards that I get. Let's see. Here's my awards. Well, it doesn't tell me. It just says GMR Grand Prix. Maybe it is AMSA. I don't know. But I'll show you all this. This is, well, for one, this is my old call sign. I changed my call sign when I got my extra class last year. But this is the Checkered Flag Award. You have the Verizon 200, which is the old NASCAR road course race at Indy. They don't do that anymore. They went back to the Brickyard 400. You see the Indianapolis 500 here and the Grand Prix. I worked all 3 of them. While we got the book down, I'll show you some other stuff. Here's the 13 Colonies Award for last year. I worked those, and I got them all this year. I still have not sent in for my certificate yet, so need to do that. What else we got in here? Oh, my VE certificates. Let's see. There's my ARRL Volunteer Examiner certificate, and my West Cars. Of course, it's got the wrong call sign on it. Oh, this is fun. This was a meaningful one. Certificate of Recognition. If you notice there's the King's, what do they call it? Cipher, I think. I worked his coronation event. This particular one, CK3OTW. I think this is the Canadian one. I think. I could be wrong about that, but I did work that one. And then POTA. You got your POTA certificates. For those of you that aren't hams, POTA is Parks on the Air. Parks on the Air. So cool stuff. A couple of these are really meaningful QSL cards. Golf Bravo 23 Charlie. Boy, I worked hard to get this guy. He was piled up on. This is the Great Britain coronation special event call sign. So I loved working that. There's the back of it. Front of it. Let me get it a little closer here for you. You can see the Coronation logo there, and the Radio Society of Great Britain symbol. And then you can see the little stamp there. It's verified. So this one will be kept safe for sure. And in addition to that, okay, yep, it was the Canadian station I worked. Here you go. VE30TW and CK30TW. There's the coronation certificate or coronation logo up there, and then you can see the Canadian stuff there. And there's the back of it. So that's cool. Let me look through here and see if there's any other QSL cards y'all might have interest in. If I don't throw them in the garbage on accident. Shoot. I had a couple of them fall out. I'm not like some hams and just hang them on the wall. My wife won't let me. I did have a cork board. Hi Rob, KB6JFL, appreciate you being here. I did have them on a cork board, and then I got too many of them. So I ended up going to Michael's and purchasing this book that I put them all in. Those are the only two DX. For those that are not hams, DX is distance. It's contacts you make that are outside of your home country. So those are the only two QSL cards that I have from DX countries. Boy, this is a mess. It's very cumbersome. Some of these are cool. Mostly people shags and different scenes. Just want to see if there's anything that would be of special interest. All pretty generic. If y'all want to see these one day, let me know. We'll think about doing one. Okay, here's some cool ones that I'll share. All right. This is W6WWW. This is from Tim Brooks in Fort Myers, Florida. So pretty cool there. Then we've got, okay, it is the IndyCar, the IndyCar Grand Prix. This one's the Indianapolis 500 from last year, W9IMS. Here's the NASCAR at the Brickyard. And then this is the Indianapolis Grand Prix. And that was won by Alex Palou. So I'll show you the back of these. And I want to be careful. Let me cover this one up because it's got this guy's information on it. But you can see Joseph Newgarden for the Indianapolis 500. I'm pointing at the wrong one. Joseph Newgarden for the Indianapolis 500. You've got Michael McDowell. That's a special one. Michael McDowell doesn't win a lot of races, so you got that one. And then you've got Alex Palou, who won the Grand Prix. Grand Prix, you gotta say it right, not Grand Prix. It's not a Pontiac Grand Prix, it's a Grand Prix. Makes you sound like you got a few bucks in your pocket. Let's see. Any other ones in the book here that y'all might have interest in? Not seeing anything crazy. Mostly generic stuff. That is one way. Oh, this was a cool one. Not official, but it's cool nonetheless. Calify Mike Golf Yankee. For those of you that might have a little bit of interest in history, especially when it comes to amateur radio, the call sign for the Titanic was Mike Golf Yankee. So here's the back side of it. And I'm just covering up this side because it's got this guy's personal information on it. But you see RMS Titanic, Mike Golf Yankee, 41.46 north, 50.14 west, April 15th, 1912. And there you see all my information on it. So that was fun. Again, that's just what somebody's chosen. I guess they've got a hobby in following Titanic stuff. So it's cool. It's cool. It's a great way to combine your hobbies. You know, it's like if Evan ever gets his license in ham radio, which y'all get in a chat and harass Evan, make him get his license. Get him in here. But if you get, it's like if Evan got his license and, gosh, Evan, I don't remember who your favorite driver is. Why am I running a blank? But let's say you got or I don't know. I'm trying to think. How about KB8 NAS or KB8 SC or CAR? I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud. Kyle Busch for NASCAR, I don't know. Or Kyle Busch 8 NASCAR. Ooh, I got it. Not that you're you're definitely not a Kyle Busch fan. He's a Roush fan. But if you were a Kyle Busch fan, you could always go for KB8 RCR. KB8 RCR, that would be a freaking awesome call sign for a big race fan. Combine your hobbies. They're fun. All right. Let me put the book away here. I'm not going to try to put it back on the shelf right now. It'll end up falling. It's quite heavy. Roush and Penske. Yes. Not Penske. Not Penske. Screw Penske. I don't like Penske at all. He may own the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and that's fine. He may own the IndyCar. But, yeah, don't like Penske. Roush is fine. I like Brad Keselowski, and I drive a Ford, even though I'm basically a Chevrolet fan, but I'm a bit of a Ford fan, or I guess I'm slowly becoming a Ford fan because the last two cars I've bought have been Fords. Used to have a Ford Escape, now I have a Ford F-150, and I love my F-150. I'm just going to say it. Sorry, Chevrolet. Do me a brand deal. Give me a brand deal with a truck, and we'll see if I change that. I'll do some video shout-outs. I'm talking to you, General Motors. Let's see here. Rob, KB6JFL, says, I live in the city of Kevin Harvick. That would be Bakersfield, California. I know my stuff. I know NASCAR. So, Kevin was cool. Kevin's cool. He's a pretty good broadcaster right out of the gate. So, kudos to Fox for picking him up. Evan says, I don't know how long he's going to stay there. You talking about Busch staying at RCR? I don't know. All I know is he can't be pleased. I mean, he's getting paid, so he's not fussing about that. But he loves to win. He loves to win. And he's not doing it at RCR. I don't know what's going on. Biggest thing that could happen is get Kyle Busch, or I think if they would retire Kevin Harvick and give Kyle Busch a teammate that's worth a darn, that would change things quite a bit. Let's face it, Austin Dillon's a joke, and you can quote me on that. Let's see here. He's saying check my Facebook. Okay. Oh my gosh. This is cool. What is that last one? Not sure what the last car is. So he sent me his display of diecast here, and I'll let y'all see it as best I can. You joke. You got a Kyle Busch car sitting here. There it is. Got Kyle Busch. You got an Indy car. This one's blown out because of the camera, but that's Joey Logano. You got Brad Keselowski in the middle. You got Chris Buescher right there, or as Dale Earnhardt Jr. calls him, Christopher Buescher. You got another Indy car next to that. And I'm not sure what this last one is. It's got a 19 on it. Diecast are cool. I have one or two of them sitting around, but I don't have them on display or anything like that. Okay. We've been going an hour and 5 minutes now. Let's see what else I got going on. Real-time check on my subscriber counts. We're still at 752. If you haven't subscribed, go down below my video right here and go ahead and subscribe. Oh, I got a ding in my ear. Y'all can't hear it. I use Social Blade real-time tracker to see my subscriber count. And whenever it updates, I have a casino-like ding in my ear. Okay, it is 752. It was just updating. Okay. So yeah, 752 subscribers. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below and hit the thumbs up button as well as the notification bell. All three of those things certainly help the channel. And also down below in the description, you can see several links. Any of those links will help the channel grow. So I definitely appreciate you clicking on any of those links. Follow us on Discord. Go ahead and get on Discord and join the HamShackTV Discord. There's a link down below for that as well. Those two, Facebook and Discord, are totally free. Just go ahead and do that and help us out. Also down below, again, you'll see an Amazon link. If you click that link, anything that you buy will help HamShackTV grow. I do receive a little bit of a cut there. So go do your Amazon shopping. It doesn't change your price on anything, so you might as well just help the channel out. You know what I mean? Also, just like we were harassing Evan just a minute ago, if you need to get your ham radio license or want to upgrade your ham radio license, go to hamradioprep.com. They're the sponsor of tonight's episode. They have some fantastic education courses for ham radio. If you use my coupon code HamShackTV, you'll get an additional 10% off at checkout. But yeah, check out all the links below. I appreciate your support and HamShackTV. Colin says it says 758 subscribers. Okay. Maybe it's wrong. You know what? I bet it's having a hard time updating because I'm live streaming. Yes, I have a gig internet, but this computer struggles sometimes with my live streaming. And an update. Boom. You're wrong, Colin. You're wrong. Come on, focus. Anyway, 759. It must have just changed. Atlanta Motor Speedway in 2019. Okay, that makes sense. I thought I saw an SMI logo on there. I just wasn't quite sure. Let's see. Is there any more news stories that I might want to read here? Good story. Go to thisweekinamateurradio.com or look it up on your favorite podcast source to hear all these stories. One thing that a lot of ham radio operators don't think about is, and it's difficult to think about, we never want to think about it, but what happens to your stuff when you die? What will you do with, or what will happen to your shack and all your equipment? You've invested a lot of money into that stuff. Do you want your uneducated spouse or survivors to basically give that stuff away? A lot of XYLs, they have no idea what they're working with, and they sell that stuff for pennies on a dollar. You need an estate plan for your ham radio equipment. So that's a story that is covered in This Week in Amateur Radio, which will be released sometime tomorrow evening. It's been running late the last few days, so check Sunday morning for This Week in Amateur Radio, wherever you get your podcast. Let's see. These are all tosses. I don't want to read you a toss. We talked about the ARRL cyber attack. That was in a video about a week or two ago. You can go check that out. Actually, it wasn't a week or two ago. That was this week. So go down in my previous videos and check that out. But not right now. We're still live streaming. Let's see here. All right, we'll hit this one here. This may be the final story of the night. We'll see. Laurel Tencher, a program manager of the Terre Haute Children's Museum, called QRZ. Interesting. The program is called QRZ. Okay, I'm paraphrasing there. Sorry. In a manner of speaking, and the Wabash Valley Amateur Radio Association answered the call. Let me start the story again because this doesn't make a lot of sense. Laurel Tencher, program manager of the Terre Haute Children's Museum, called QRZ, in a manner of speaking, and the Wabash Valley Amateur Radio Association answered the call. She invited the club to present a day of ham radio activities to showcase the kinds of things amateur radio can do. According to club president Kevin Berlin, K9HX, 100 or so visitors on Saturday, August 24th, got that opportunity. They participated in a radio-related scavenger hunt and enjoyed activities that taught them a little more about Morse code. As the hams made QSOs, for those of you that aren't hams, a QSO is a conversation. As the hams made QSOs on single sideband using a remote-controlled HF station, the youngsters got a better understanding of what HF propagation can do. The visitors didn't just take away a better understanding of amateur radio. One lucky youngster won the random drawing for a small STEM robotics kit. How cool. According to Kevin, quite a few of them expressed interest in working towards getting their license. Folks, I'm going to say it time and time again. We've got to get the kids involved in amateur radio. We've got to. If we don't, this hobby's going to die. I remember what I was saying about Jason earlier, Ham Radio 2.0, KC5HWB. One of the things that he was saying is some people were saying that at the Huntsville Ham Fest, it was just a bunch of white-haired or silver-haired guys in there, gray-haired guys. You know what? That's true. That's true. I may not have the gray hair here, but I certainly got it right here. But nonetheless, yeah, we've got a problem. We do have a lot of youngsters coming in amateur radio, and that's great. But is it enough to sustain the hobby? We don't know. We don't know. So we got to get the kids interested in the hobby, or it will die one day. Let's see here. Colin in VK says K4A, the Alabama contest group, will be operating the 9/11 Remembering Our Heroes special event September 8th through 11th. The Kilo 4 Alpha special event station will be on the air to honor victims of 9/11. Got to tell you, 9/11 is different for me. Very different. I'll tell you the story real quick. 9/11 is my birthday. I was in middle school. I guess I was in 8th grade, something like that. And sitting in the classroom, classmates giving me birthday cards, things like that. It was the very start of the day. And I remember this like it was yesterday. It's crazy. One of my TAs walked into the classroom. She'd gone to the office for something. She walked in the classroom and said, the World Trade Center just got hit by a plane. I didn't think much about it. I didn't know what the World Trade Center was. So time went on. About 15, 20 minutes later, it was our time to go to the library. and got to the library, and they had it on TV. I looked at the TV and saw it was the Twin Towers. Had Miss Click walked in, which is the TA, had Miss Click walked in and said that it was the Twin Towers, I would have knew immediately, and I would have been in shock. All I can remember is the mood in that school completely changed that day. And I get all choked up about it sometimes. Overlook me. If you believe in superstition, September 11th of 2001 was my 13th birthday. I'm not much about superstition, but it was my 13th birthday. Go figure. I'll let you do the math on that. But the school was just a total different place. We obviously went into lockdown just like in most every school in the country. Nothing got done that day. We sat and watched TV all day long. All day long. And I can remember standing there in that library that morning. And I was just still. Completely still. And I stared at that TV the whole time. My eyes never came off of the TV whatsoever. And I remember seeing those towers fall. And our country was never the same again. And I'm never going to get political on this channel. I can assure you that. I don't want that bull crap on my channel. I'm very politically active. I've ran for school board a couple times. I've never missed an election to vote in. But I don't want it on this channel. We don't need politics in ham radio. Politics destroys stuff. And I don't want it to destroy this hobby. But our country's never been the same since 9/11. Never. And it never will be. I don't even remember what it was like before 9/11 at this point. So much time has passed. Stephen, welcome in. I was wondering where you were. I haven't seen you all night. Appreciate you being here. So anyway, needless to say, that year, my birthday was forgotten. And I don't blame people. I didn't need to be remembered that day. 343 firefighters died. No telling how many police officers died. Thousands and thousands of people died that day for no reason whatsoever. Just got home, saw you're on. Well, thanks for being here. I can always count on you to be in here. Yeah, thousands of people died that day for no reason whatsoever. No reason. And country may be a little safer these days. Maybe. I don't know. I'd never flown prior to 9/11, so I don't know what it was like. First time I flew on an airplane was 2004, I think. It's either fall of 04 or fall of 03. I can't remember. And ironically, I flew to New York City to be a part of something at Carnegie Hall. That's the first time I've flown ever. And I've flown several times since. I flew back and forth to Florida, back and forth to Los Angeles, and then most recently back and forth to Las Vegas. So flying is an interesting thing. It's very, very secure. So anyway, well, Stephen, you missed all the party here. Just been reading the news. I think I might do this every Friday night. Just get on live and talk with y'all and read my news stories from This Week in Amateur Radio, which if you are new here and don't realize, I am a news anchor for This Week in Amateur Radio, which is a weekly podcast available where all of your podcasts are found. Apple Podcasts, Spotify. I think it's on Spotify. Spreaker, I think. Anyway, whatever you listen to podcasts on, go look up This Week in Amateur Radio. It's a great podcast. Colin MDK says, I have still never been in a jet. Only turboprop planes and choppers. Take that back. I forgot about that. I have been in a helicopter once. The town I grew up in, which is Lenore City, Tennessee, celebrated its 100th anniversary, I think it was. Back around 07, I think it was, 2007. And part of that, they had a festival, and they were having $20 helicopter flights. Pay $20, they'll take you up to fly you around the town. I don't know if I'll ever get in a helicopter again. It's just not my cup of tea. Never been in a prop plane. I'm kind of afraid to get in a prop plane. Don't know why. Just am. Not afraid of a jet, though. I've flown in jets enough that I'm comfortable with that. So, anyway, yep, we've read the stories. We've done the news. We've cried on camera. 9/11's something good to cry about, though. Our country will never get over that. Talked about our weekends. Again, big event for me this weekend's the Tennessee QSO party on Sunday. We'll be on 20 and 40 meters as November 4 Tango. Come find us, work us, get us on there. Steven says, in my old job, I flew a ton. About 40 weeks later, or 40 weeks a year. Wow. There's only 52 weeks in a year. Only 12 weeks a year you were home. But that was 14 years ago. Okay. Stephen also says the longest flight was to Paris. Interesting. I've never been out of the... Well, I take it back. I've been out of the country one time. I flew to... or I didn't fly. Me and my wife took a cruise back in March to celebrate our 10th anniversary, and we went down to the Bahamas. So it's technically out of the country. Some people would argue that, but yeah, it was out of the country. Steven says I plan to be on 20 meters on Sunday. Okay, and the longest flight was Paris. So my longest flight would have been probably LA. Went to Adobe Max last October. In Los Angeles. Los Angeles is a cool town. Don't let the politics influence your opinion of LA. Nobody gives a crap about politics in LA. It's the most laid-back city out there. It's not that bad. I had a ton of fun when I went out there last year, and we were in downtown. It's not like I was out in swanky Beverly Hills, man. No, I was in downtown LA. Did go up to Beverly Hills. Did go out to Hollywood. Had to see all the sights. Santa Monica, Redondo Beach. Let me tell you something. Redondo Beach. Give it a look. Look at it on Google Maps. Look at Google. What is it called? Google Street View. It's so cool. It's a great little town right there on the beach. Colin and VK says only ever been in Huey choppers, and they're shaky like hell. I don't remember what kind of helicopter it was. It was some sightseeing helicopter. I think it was 4 seats in the thing. The only way I'll get in the helicopter again will be if Lifestar or the Medivac or whatever you want to call it, the ambulance helicopter, some people call it. We call it Lifestar around here. God forbid Lifestar has to come get me. So anyway... We are almost 90 minutes in. I wasn't planning on going this far. But going to go ahead and wrap it up. I appreciate everybody being here. Let's go back and represent all of our people in the chat. Joe, Rockford, Tennessee, WB9VVH. Colin and VK. Colin, I lost your call sign here. Let me see if I can find it. I saw it and then I've lost it. Oh, Colin retracted his message. Anyway, Colin's in Australia. Appreciate him being here. Evan and Chelsea. Evan is not a ham, but we're trying to get him to be a ham. David, KE4HPQ. Let's see here. Anybody else? Rob, KB6JFL. And Steven. Steven, I never can remember your call sign. Oops. I'll get it remembered. Anyway, appreciate everybody being here. I'm going to go ahead and call tonight. I got a big day tomorrow. Try to get a video tomorrow. I don't know if it's going to happen. I got too many other things. And I love my yep, KJ4FAE. Yep, I forgot it again. Thanks, Steven. While I love this community and HamShackTV and stuff like that, I might take a day off tomorrow and focus on these babies. Family's got to be the number one priority. But definitely going to be some videos here Sunday for the QSO party. Soul Studios KO4DDG in the house. Thanks for being here, brother. Appreciate you. Don't forget, we will have live streaming coverage of the Tennessee QSO party live from Maryville, Tennessee, East Tennessee Skywarn. November 4 Tango will be operating on 20 and 40 meters. So look forward to that. I'll have some interviews with some folks. We'll talk about Skywarn. We'll talk about all kinds of great things as well. And fill our face full of pizza and water because it's probably going to be hot. Go to all my links in the below. This video was sponsored by Ham Radio Prep. If you or somebody you know wants to get their technician license, or you or somebody you know wants to upgrade their license, Ham Radio Prep's the way to go. Go to hamradioprep.com. Use coupon code HamShackTV for an extra 10% off the great prices that they've got now. They're on sale now, but if you use my coupon code HamShackTV, you get an additional 10% off. Don't miss out. HamRadioPrep.com. Also, Amazon. All those links in the description down below help the channel. Excuse me. If you're not already, get on the Discord. Let's continue the conversation. I'm always monitoring my Discord, so get on the Discord. Let's chat sometime. Maybe it'll inspire some good conversations for these live streams. Steven says it right there. Remember to like and subscribe on the way out and share with your friends. Folks, this channel is exploding, and I'm so grateful for everybody's attentiveness and subscribing to the channel. Let me just refresh my numbers. 759 subscribers. 759, folks. It's fantastic. We're going to get over 1,000. And my goal, I said tonight, is to get over 1,000 before my twin sons are born in October. I think we can do it, especially on the rate we've been growing. So that's it. Soul Studios says, Nightmate, try Riddy. Not many contacts with Riddy on the record. That is a good idea. I haven't thought about it. Well, I don't know if they'll allow Riddy in the Tennessee QSO party. I know that CW is allowed, digital, FT8, that kind of stuff's allowed. I don't know about Riddy. I'll have to look into the rules for Riddy. And then, of course, phone, single sideband. So, that's it. Soul says, live stream delivery might top your 2,000. Oh, Soul's with Tennessee Contest Group. Good. We might do some Riddy. I've got some friends that are planning on running some CW for us, so that'll be great. I'd love to 2,000. That'd be awesome. So you're saying we could get 2,000 subs before the babies are here? Well, I mean, with the rate of growth, yeah, we could definitely do 2,000 subs. But I think a lot of my growth was due to Huntsville. I think Huntsville Hamfest did it. But we'll see. If I can get to 2,000 subs by the time the babies are here, heck yeah. Let's go. Woo! I'm not going to do a big woo like I did in my video the other day. I got a baby sleeping over here and my wife sleeping back there. So, yeah, we'll celebrate that one. But 1,000, we're going to celebrate one victory at a time. We celebrated 750 tonight. 1,000 is next, and it's up to you guys. Go and like and subscribe to this channel and share it with your club members, your friends, your family, anybody that might have interest in amateur radio. I'm always open for any suggestions with content. Join the Discord. You can message me directly. I'll always be open to talking to my I don't want to say fans. It is what it is. It's fans, according to YouTube, but my subscribers, how about that? My colleagues. All right, I'm going to shut up because I'm going to lose my voice if I keep talking. We don't need a repeat of Huntsville. So we'll call tonight. 7-3s, everybody. AA4WX, WSCB 693. Good night.